construction of ASEAN. So the Association of Southeast Asian Nations is a regional grouping that promotes economics, political and security cooperation among its 10 members, which is Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. ASEAN countries have a total population of 150 million people and a combined gross domestic product (GDP) of 2.8 trillion. The group has played a central role in ASEAN economic integration, spearheading a negotiation among Asia-Pacific nations to form one of the world's largest free trade blocs and signing 6 free trade agreements with other regional economies. On 28 July 1995, Vietnam was admitted formally as the 7th member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. ASEAN is now 28 years old and has been by far the most successful and prominent third world regional organization. Vietnam's membership of ASEAN is a striking illustration of the impact of the changes in Southeast Asian affairs since the end of the Cold War and the attainment of the Cambodian Peace Agreement in 1991. It will assist greatly Vietnam's effort to consolidate its foreign policy emphasis on wide international relations and to gain additional and much-needed trade and investment. Thank you, and I will pass the next presenter.
Hello, my name is SAIFUL, and I'm going to talk about the first point, which is the background of Vietnam. First, let's look into Vietnam history. On 1887, they became part of French Indochina. On 1945 to 1954, where the first Indochina War occurred, and on 1954 they also gained independence from France, and on 1954 to 1975 they have Vietnam War, which happened between North and South of Vietnam, and last in 1975 to 1976 they being reunited of the North and the South of Vietnam. Okay, moving on, we have Vietnam political background. They gained independence on 2 September 1945, and the form of government is communist state, where head of state is President Nguyen Phu Trong, and head of government Pham Minh Chi. The legislature unicameral or National Assembly, and the judiciary is Supreme People's Court. Furthermore, we have the Vietnam economic background, where they have 2.9% growth rate on 2020, and their currency is dong. And next we have Vietnam social background, which their populations is 98.5 million. Their religions consist of 3 main religions, which is Buddha, Catholic, and Hoa. The language they use is Vietnam, English, and French, and their ethnic group is Viet, Thai, and Hmong. Last, we have the Vietnam culture aspect, which is the Vietnamese white long dress known as áo dai, which is their national costume that symbolizing beauty and elegance. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day, I greet all. My name is Muhammad Nishamuddin bin Muhammad, and today I will briefly explain about the domestic politics of Vietnam, coronavirus fight. as the coronavirus pandemic continues to wreak havoc around the world, Vietnam, along with other Asia Pacific countries like South Korea, Taiwan, and New Zealand, remain one of the few bright spots, despite being a neighbor of China, the first COVID-19 hotspot, and having its first case present in late January. Vietnam had just 270 confirmed cases as of April 24. 225 of which have been declared recovered and 0 death. After that, many theories have been proposed to explain Vietnam's performance in the fight against coronavirus, including the government's aggressive tracing and surveillance of potential cases, owing to the strong communist apparatus present at all levels of society. The government's alertness, which has never dismisses COVID-19 as just another flu. Last but not least, is order to enforce social distancing across the country and related measures to mitigate the pandemic's impact will only be as good as the public trust in him and his official, giving Vietnam's relative success in containing the virus, despite its large population and close ties to many of the virus was affected countries, such as China and South Korea. It is reasonable for other countries currently grappling with high infection and mortality rates to learn from Vietnam and replicate its prevention measures. Thank you.
Hai, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. I'm Muhammad Rizlan bin Muhammad Rizal. Okay, in this video, I will talk about the domestic issues in terms economic. So let's proceed to the next slide. The issues in terms economic, despite COVID-19, Vietnam's economy has stayed strong, developing at 2.9% in 2020, probably the most noteworthy rate on the world, and 6.5% in 2021, as per the International Monetary Fund (IMF) as most recent yearly evaluation of the nation's economy. So this is because of solid financial basics, conclusive regulation measures, and all-around designated government support. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, Vietnam has experience of how to recover it during an epidemic, which is the first. The pandemic caused chaos in the economy, but Vietnam has taken bold steps to mitigate the health and economic consequences. Okay, next, although some structural concerns remain to be addressed, Vietnam began the pandemic with strong economic fundamentals and policy buffers. Third, in order to create a resilient and inclusive recovery in 2021, macroeconomics policy must remain supportive. Fourth, financial stability is also essential for a long-term rehabilitation. And the last one is to make the most of Vietnam's great growth potential. More significant reforms required. So that's it. Experience the country of Vietnam to recover their economic growth. Thank you for listening. So I will pass to the next presenters.
Hello, I am Muhammad Amirul Binjamin. My student number is 2020-16-21-63. I will talk about social issue in Vietnam that I got 3 points. It is pollution, corruption, and aging population. First of all is pollution. Water pollution from steel mills that dump toxic waste into the sea causes damage to marine ecosystems. Okay, second is about corruption. Corruption in Vietnam is so high that it makes the administration and politics disorganized, such as unsystematic law enactment, so that corruption activity is underestimated by Vietnam. Last but not least is about aging population. Although the life expectancy of the Vietnamese population is increasing, but the elderly are mostly isolated from their children because the children are more focused on career and family with children and wives. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, Vietnam is one of the ASEAN countries with historical, political, economic, social, and cultural backgrounds. Vietnam was once at war in their history in 1955 to 1975. Moreover, their form of government and their rule was a communist country. The population is 98.5 million and various religions, namely Buddha, Catholics, Hoa, and also use various languages such as English and French. Next, Vietnam also has 3 domestic, namely political, economic, and social domestic. In the political aspect, on April 24, Vietnam was hit by a disease, namely coronavirus, and many were affected, and the Vietnam government should take steps to prevent it, while their economy remains strong. In Vietnam, social aging population, many elderly people are neglected by their children. Corruption, many corrupt activity that cause irregular work, and lastly, pollution. Air pollution cause damage to marine ecosystem.